with the banks, with that, and the amount of pressure that brings with it. You know,
what was that?
I would have never got through that if it wasn't for having to deal with the pride issue of not looking my dad in the eye from baseball. I would have never got through that, and the fact that you get your teeth kicked in every day in that sport. I wouldn't have been able to fight through it. But I just did what we did. You put the uniform on, you get up, and you go, and you keep swinging. You know, you keep swinging. And I got through it, and I got through it. You know, sometimes I want to check my fingers and make sure I got them all because people lost body parts. But that experience for me and going through that taught me a lot. One of the things it taught me is that I personally don't want to take all that pressure on myself. I rather invest with guys that I know and manage my money that way. But I also saw in that process the void in really knowing this market and how it operates. I mean, listen, we're the closest country to the United States. That's the joke right here, Miami, right? You draw a line on Fort Lauderdale and it's like everyone, it used to be like third world, you know? Now it's the Mecca, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be here from all over the world. But as you know, it's very transient, right? And the guys that are from here and grew up here and know the park and know where Jose Marti Park is and know, you know, the one thing I've learned in business and in life, everyone wants to know the good guys. What's more important is to know who the bad guys are, so you stay away from them. And what happened at that point in the market, it showed who people's real colors are. And
who you are under pressure.
Who you are under pressure, how you react when things go bad, right? Who's in the foxhole? We call them foxhole partners. Who's in the foxhole when the bullets are flying, and who's in the foxhole with you, and who's running the other way, and who's doing the right things. So I was fortunate to know what it took to do the right thing because I did it. But then I also saw a lot of guys that did the right thing, and I also noticed that the guys that did the right thing were being persecuted by the banks because they had the capital, and they were letting the bad guys that didn't do the right thing
get away with it because they had nothing.
They had nothing to claw back on. And I said, "Wait a minute, there's an opportunity here." So I got into the business. I got into working some deals out because I worked my deals out in good faith, and I started helping other guys with the banks as an advisor. And I just wanted to be on the capital market side. And I said, you know, there's plenty of good opportunities and good people here. You don't have to conquer the world. You know, you could have a solid group of people that you provide capital for. And by the way, I spent my life asking for money, right? It's amazing when you're the one providing capital, you know, all the doors are open. When you're asking for money, you got to break them down, right? But I knew both sides. So when I sit with a client, right, unlike my competitors, you know, and we talk about this like the street and baseball, I signed that guarantee. I signed that. I had to deal with that. I had to deal with that pressure. I'm not asking you to do anything that I haven't done. Do I want to do that again? No. You know, I got the mortgage on my house. I don't want to sign on. But having have done that gives me credibility in the marketplace, you know, and gives me the credibility to speak and to transact and to do that. And you only get that by doing it, by jumping headfirst into it, you know. And it goes back to my high school coach and he told me when we went through that tough time, he says, "You're 33 years old." He goes, "You have no idea what education you are getting now, because you're going to see the next cycle. You're going to see." So, listen, man, I tell my wife, I have 3 beautiful kids. She's my brakes, I call her, you know, but
I feel you.
She's everything. She's the one that
helps you.
No, it just like really elevated me.
And
And you know, and And I say that because I thought that the dream was baseball. I got a beautiful. I get emotional. I don't need anything else in life right now. There's nothing more I need. Nothing. This is life for me. This is like to the point where that mindset of mine is like, okay, when does this thing come out from under me?
Well,
I mean, I wake up. I'm going off here, and I'm sorry, but I'll tell you,
you're not. And
I have the same recurring.
You're hitting home.
I have the same recurring dream.
I hope it's not okay. I have a recurring dream, and if you say what it is, it's gonna freak me out. But go ahead.
But this is my recurring dream.
I
was a catcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't get my catching gear on fast enough, or I can't find my glove or my helmet. I can't put it all together and get out on time, or I'm in the clubhouse and something happens. And when I come out, the manager puts someone else to catch.
So I have a recurring dream.
And that gets me out of bed in the morning.
Ask my wife. She's going to freak out. Baby, if you listen to this, now you're going to know this is not a coincidence. I have a recurring dream that I'm going to go up to bat and I can't put on my batting gloves. Or I put on my batting gloves and then I'm walking up to home plate and the game is over.
That's a good trait. It's a horrible one. It's hard to overcome. You know, I mean, I jump out of bed. I'm putting my stuff on. I'm putting my stuff on, and I can't get out there. I just can't get out there. And
I feel and what happens to me is that I feel a desperation. I feel the excitement to go to bat. I was telling my dad, and I can't go up to bat. I don't make it to home plate. The game's over. Or I can't put on my batting gloves and everything goes in slow motion.
And my wife tells me, why do you go so hard? Why do you go? And it's just like, because and by the way, I was always the first guy to get there and the last
Isn't
guy
that crazy?
No, I mean.
I have it, a recurring dream. I just told my dad last week, I go, papi, nunca se me va.
It doesn't.
I told my wife, and then now, in some weird way, it's like I'm trying to understand it, and it's almost like God telling me, bro, I had other things for you. This is not your game. You're in the game you need to be playing.
Yeah, for sure.
When you say that you wake up like that, you have no idea how many times I think that, like, my office and my staff, like my life, right? I have a house. My kids have dinner together. You know, my kids go to school. I have normalcy. I have stability. I'm financially successful. And I'm just waiting for the rug. Like when's the worst case scenario going to happen to me? When does this whole thing calm down? And actually,
but you know what? When it does happen,
it's not going to.
But if it does, and it's probably not going to, and
I know,
and it's not going to, but there's a book that they asked me to read, Dale Carnegie. Okay, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That one I really didn't need because I'm really good at that. I mean, I don't mean the, you know, I'm a lot of fun, bro. I know how to start a party and finish one. So I don't need help winning friends and influencing people. My dad helped me with that when I was a kid, that story. But the other one is How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And basically with that small book, like perfect for athletes, it's like a cliff note. It's an easy read. But what I got out of that book, it says, listen, everything you worry about, 90%, 90, 95, 97, whatever, what you worry about doesn't happen. And guess what? You're not going to change who you are. And when it does happen, you've worried about it already. And you're going to be fine. And so my point is that we've already gone through that with baseball. We've gone through it. I went through it in the market. I went through it. And what I didn't have, and you didn't have, which is why I think you say it's not going to happen. When I say falling, I don't mean it's not going to happen because the money, all that other stuff, as long as the family's there, that doesn't happen. You're not alone anymore. You're not going through that alone anymore. When I mean alone, you had your parents and whatever, but when you're the fearless leader, there's three things that motivate people: money, whatever you're into, vices, we all have them, or whatever it is. Personally, whatever. You like to gamble, you like to play golf, whatever that motivates you because you want to have enough money or whatever. You want to do that, like baseball, right? And then fear, right? Fear's number one, right? And I don't know about you, but when I saw that first little animal I was holding in my arms, that's scary. And nothing in my professional career, in baseball, growing up, nothing put a shock through me like knowing that I was that fearless leader for that little baby. And that's fear. Okay? That's fear. And ever since I was blessed that my wife gave me my first child and 3 beautiful kids, I mean, the things that I have accomplished that I thought I haven't been able to accomplish, and it's come much easier, right? Because it's just like, and that's the bigger plan, man. I mean, I'm not going to get spiritual on you, but at the end of the day, baseball's, well, we don't miss the game. We miss the beers. We miss the guys. We miss, like that's what really, that was our family away from our family, right?
What I missed was the locker room, bro.
Yeah.
I miss my boys.
Yeah. And I love
playing. Give me but it's okay.
I call my guys with my wife, my phone rings, and my wife, she put them on speaker, and it's like, I haven't talked to these guys. Some of these guys, every once in a while, time goes 10 years. Pick up the phone, boom. It's an hour and a half conversation. Like if nothing happened, like if you didn't miss a beat, right? Because you go back to that place in time, and look, at the end of the day, it's about dreams, man. We're chasing dreams. We're still chasing them. Now we're chasing them for our kids, right? We're living their dreams, right? But that's all we did. We chase dreams.
I think it's one of the things that my wife taught me. She when I first met her, I would write her an email, she'd write me an email, whatever, and in the bottom of her signature, it said, "Life may not be the party we asked for, but if we're here, we might as well dance." Now, if you meet my wife talks to anybody. She's a good time. She's just a very open person, and
so you don't need to get her that first book. She's like me.
Just like you. But whenever I would get the fear, especially when we were first starting, and I had a lot of financial fear, Mark, because I didn't grow up in that. Yeah. I wanted that life.
Right.
I wanted to live a better life. And for me, it wasn't about, for me to talk about I have money. That's not at all. I just want to be able to, I want to go to a nice restaurant. I want to take my kids on a vacation. I want to have a nice house, And I don't think that, there's nothing wrong with that. Those were the desires of my heart to elevate. And my grandfather always told my dad, when I came from Cuba, he told my dad, "Tú tienes que ser mejor que yo." And my dad, I had this thing I'm gonna do. Our parents sacrificed a lot.
Right.
How they gave me this country. They gave me, this country gave me an education. I went to school for free. I never, I paid $1. I played minor league baseball with kids from all over the college baseball all over the country.
I got a college education doing what I loved.
But all because somebody had the guts and the courage to leave a country. Because if that doesn't happen, you don't have this life that you have.
Yeah.
You don't have all the blessings that you have.
Yeah.
In reality, somebody paid that price for you, bro.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that my grandmother, who raised me, is like, she always told me, Fernie, tú tienes el espíritu de superior. And I never understood what she was saying by that. But she goes, I was a little kid, I just wanted to be better. I wanted to surround myself like that with older people. I wanted to grow. I wanted to learn. I think that's what life is all about. Why would I want to be around people that are putting chains on me and keeping me down, right? That's what the world wants to do. I'm trying to elevate. But the whole fear, that for me was, the financial fear was something that was crippling to me, Mark. It was awful. Until one day I realized that, I'm like, man, you know what? Like, I have everything that it takes to be successful, right? I'm not a genius, but I'm a smart guy. I'm an average learner. I learn my products. It may take me a little bit longer than the average person, but I'll learn it. I work hard. I'm prepared. I communicate. I think I'm likable. I don't disrespect anybody. I don't expect to be disrespected.
Right.
Try to do the right thing. And I realized, you know what, this whole game of life is like baseball, where I can control. I'm going to worry about what I can control, which is my character, my preparation, who I am as a person, how I represent my family, my organization, my friends. I think there's an accountability to that. But I can't control the result. Because that's the part that's out of my control. It's like hitting. It's like how many times you go to bat and you squirt a ball up and then the guy caught it out, and the next day you're 0 for 3 and everybody go, you're 0 for 3. You're like, bro, but I hit 3 line drives, and then one day you're like 3 for 3 with the 3, dribbler, infield single, a little, and the paper, and everybody thinks you're 3 for 3.
Right.
And the result is like, well, I don't, So I realized like this whole game is like if I do the right thing, right, what I can control, then I think the results start to happen. And organically, it's like it's like when I told my 2 kids, Olivia plays tennis, she plays soccer, she dances, and Sean plays now like football, baseball, and then whatever they want to do, I tell them one thing. I listen to me. Whatever it is that you want to do, I can tell you one thing for damn sure, and I don't care what anybody else tells you. You're gonna have to work your ass off. Later on in life, you'll get to work smart. I get to work smart now. I don't need to work as hard because, and I say that respectfully, humbly, I don't need to work as hard because I know my craft. I've taken so many swings that I don't need to spend. I can just, you give me insurance, you call me, I need insurance for an asset. I know where to go. So I'm not breaking my head where to go.
Right.
Before, for years, it took me 50 phone calls to find the one result. Now I'm like, I know where to go. But everybody's got to pay their dues. And I think that's what we've done, right? We've played this game for a long time, and I think when I look at your success, I look at other people's success that have been athletes. The game and the field and the life and the experiences is what taught them. But more importantly, Mark, I think the one thing that we have that can never, ever, ever, ever be taken away from us is the relationships, bro. Yeah. And because at the end of the day,
it's the people.
At the end of the day, there isn't a dollar in the world. I'm going to tell you something that was pretty scary. I did this, and I did this because somebody introduced me to somebody that I have as like a big mentor. We had a conversation, and the conversation I thought was going to be an hour long. It's an hour long now, every time we meet. But the conversation was 15 minutes. Who are you? How are you? How's everything going? Kind of meet each other. He goes, hey man, do me a favor. We'll talk next week. What do you mean? He goes, I need you have one assignment today. I said, what's that? He goes, you need to write your obituary. Well, what? Yeah, write yourself your obituary. Now, I'm not one of those guys that likes to talk about that stuff, right? Like, it's Fernie. You're like, oh, hey. Yeah. And I didn't do it for like 2 weeks. Because every time I would go do it, I would get really scared. And one night, it was like 1 a.m. and I couldn't sleep. I'm like, I got to do this, bro, because I want to talk to this guy. And I started to write it down. And I cried like a baby, bro. Like a little kid. And everything that I put down in that thing, nothing had to do with money, bro.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Zero, dog. It had to do with everything of like, how do you want your kids to know who you are as a father?
Right.
How do you want your boys and your wife to remember you, bro? And your friends.
Yep.
Not, I fucking live in a $2 million house in South Miami. I own JAG.
By the way, I've told this to my clients.
And nothing. And I realized I have everything, Mark.
And I've told this.
I think I've surpassed.
Yeah,
You ask me, like everything from now on is like, let's keep going. But you know what? I think God wants us to keep going. Like you got game. Like let's be an all-star in the game of life. You wanted to be a big league, I'm gonna make an all-star, and I believe it's there. But at the same time, I can't say like I have surpassed. I have right. Don't you feel that way?
Of course. And I have friends of mine and clients of mine that I God bless them. They don't have any. They don't need any more.
Right? They don't even know what to do with it.
Right. And so at some point, it's probably not the best advice for me for my business. I know my clients are my friends, most of them, and that's why, and that's why they continue to be my clients because it's business is business. We got a box, and you gotta, and I gotta do what I gotta do, and I wear the name on the front of the jersey, which is my company, but the name on the back of the jersey is still your friend, right? And that's the relationship I have with my clients. But I've told several of them. I said, "Listen, what's your goal? To be the richest guy in the cemetery? Do you want a plaque that says, 'Hey, this guy died with the most amount of money'? There's got to be balance, And a lot of them have thanked me, for it because at the end of the day, it's like
because at the end of the day, I think business people do.
And it also helps me when they're negotiating a quarter point, right? Like you really need this much money that you're gonna you want to be on one side of the cemetery and have me on the other. I want to be as close to you as I can, right?
It's funny you said that, man. But I think people appreciate that in you. You're keeping it real.
Yeah, there's no other way, man. No other way.
I think business people.
Everybody loves or hates, and I told you so. But for me, I'm okay with that. Because I'm okay with you telling me I told you so. I'm okay with you being wrong. But the only way you can get to the I told you so moment is by being real. If you're having a conversation and you're worried about the other guy telling you I told you so, right? Or if you're worried about him being hating you because, but like the big boys, when you tell them how you feel, they come to you and they say, "You told me so. Yeah. Thank you." Right?
And you kept it real.
And when they tell me, "I told you so," you're right. My bad. But guess what? If you don't get to that, I call it the I told you so wall. If you don't get to that wall and go through it in relationships, that you can be in a position to know that you could be wrong, but you were honest, right? You told them, if you feel like you can get to I told you so, it's because you feel like you can just put it all out there. Right, and you feel like you're honest, and it's an opinion. It could be just your opinion, but people appreciate that you went that far, And it has happened to me where guys didn't like it, and they went somewhere else,
Like I told you so.
Or they were wrong, or they were right, and they said I told you so. And I said I'm happy for you. You're right,
Yeah,
but
I'm glad it worked out.
They come back because they knew that you were willing to take the risk, right? On the relationship, when it wasn't about the money, because that hating the side of hating and I told you so could risk the business. But somewhere deep in that person's mind, they gotta go back and be like, this guy, like, he went beyond the business, because if he wanted the business, he would have just told me what I wanted to hear.
Because you know what, Mark, you're a big leaguer in what you do. You're a big leaguer in life, and you're a big leaguer as a person. Right? You have a good heart. You care about people, and at the end of the day, you want to do the right thing, because that's who you are. So you can't teach that. Yeah. You can't teach that. I think there's this false sense of security in business where like people are constantly chasing.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to build. When you analyze like the most successful business people, they're playing the long game, dude.
Right. Yeah.
They're playing the long game. And I think everybody at some point gets caught up in the short game. And then you realize, you know what?
Yeah, I'm not transactional. I'm
all about the long game. I'm going to be, through God's grace, I'll be here today, and in 20 years.
I'm personal. Like, I want to celebrate, I want clients that tell me, I want to be able to tell a client, look, I can't do better than that. I can't help you here, And by the way, like, It's not what I, trust me, it's painful.
Of
I
course.
compete.
I'm a competitor. I don't like to
I
lose.
don't want to lose, but that's a good deal. You should take that deal. And if they give you that deal, and if I can help you with anything on that deal, let me know, and I got the next one, And by the way, I had one of my mentors tell me this. There's no good business with bad people, and there's no bad business with good people. And this was one of my partners in a building that we had in Dallas. I bought a property in Dallas. It was one of the best markets we ever went into. And we weren't making money at the time, right? And he told me that because the market had crashed, but those deals still survived, and they're still intact today, and there's an investment there that's still in place and doing better than ever with this gentleman. But he goes, look, we haven't made $1 here. But he says, I got a new friend. We've had a good time. Okay? And he says, I've made money with people that I can't stand. So there's no good business with bad people, and there's no bad business with good people. Good people are always going to be good.
I like that, man. It's pretty cool.
And so, look, man, we could
be here for days.
Yeah.
As we start to wrap this up, I want to ask you 2 questions. You were on the scouting side. You were on the baseball side. Try to take yourself there. What type of advice do you have for young athletes trying to make it, and like from a transition standpoint, or maybe that guy or that girl who's in that transition? If you could just give a little message, to that player, what would it be? From what you've learned, like in your own perspective.
Look, I don't want to go off track, but it's funny. I've the last 3 years, I've had the opportunity of interviewing for the Mortgage Bankers Association conference, interviewing Dave Winfield, and this year Ron Darling virtually. And it's and this leads into my advice, right? Look, my advice really is enjoy every minute of it, okay? Respect what it is, what the actual dream is, right? Don't create a dream that's not actual and think you're fulfilling that dream, because you're setting yourself short. This Instagram culture, these kids dress up and they walk and talk like they've made it. We grew up idolizing and doing things like our idols, which were, professional baseball players. But don't create your own dreams in the sense that that's your dream, but know that, if being a Major League Baseball player is your dream, chase that dream.
Go be a big leaguer.
Don't act like a big leaguer. Check the box on Instagram and say, okay, this feels, and don't believe the bullshit what other people tell you, because I look back, people tell me, man, you were an awesome baseball player and you were this. In my mind, I never considered myself to be that, and I know a lot of guys, they struggle with it. Like, they don't believe what everyone else says about them, right? This is a culture where everyone's going to tell you how great you are, okay?
Everybody's saying yes.
Yeah, and how great you are. That's not going to get you there. My mom came here when she was 13 years old by herself through the Cuban freedom flights, okay? That my grandmother sent her here, to this country. She was taken in by an amazing Jewish family, and they raised her for 4 years. And my dad, when I made the All-Star teams, my dad used to say, the only stars are in the sky, right? He made sure that dream. And then my mom would say, hey, you're an all-star. You're a bright shining star. You're right.
And she was pushing you as your mom.
I had that.
You had that in you.
But you need to carry that. My advice to kids is you got to instill that in yourself, because if you have 2 parents or everyone telling you how great you are, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get there.
It's external.
you're not going to get there. You know, you got to instill that in yourself. And listen, whatever you're going to do, just be the best you can at it. You know what I mean? You and me would, if I told you right now, right, that we could raise our families and move, and we had to be on a bus for 8 hours and we had to go coach, we'd pack up and go. If we could give our kids the life we have and not be away from them, if we could supplement all the things that come with baseball, because there's a lot of things now that I have kids that I would, you know, the life on the road, you know, the fame, all that. But if you and me can raise our kids and be on a bus and be on a ball field every day,
we'll do it.
Because we don't need it. We just said we don't need anything else. We do it.
I'm good, man.
That's the irony of it. You know? It's like
crazy, right?
The grass is greener on the other side until someone gives you a lawnmower and says, hey, it's time to cut the grass. You know what I mean? So, look.
I'm still crazy about, by the way, the whole reoccurring dream thing is still driving me nuts.
Yeah, yeah, that's but you know what? That's the point of that.
It's a reminder.
That's the advice to the kids, that's the point. It's fear. It's the biggest motivator of all.
That dream actually reflects a fear in you.
Of course. Of course. And that's what motivates me.
And that's what that's what keeps us going.
Of course.
It's our best friend.
Yes.
As long as it doesn't control you. When it takes control of you, that's when it paralyzes you.
Of course. But
you need it there.
But you need it there. You need it there. It's listen, my dad told me you're gonna fear two people in this world. Me and your God. And one day you're going to be big and bad, because I was always a big kid. You're going to think you can take me on. And if for whatever reason you take me down, I guarantee you one thing. Your God's going to be right there. He's going to bang you on the head for messing with your dad. But that's like the fear. Like whatever religion.
That's what I call healthy.
Whatever religion you're into, it's fear. It's like we say back Wednesday, it's you know, letting down, you know, it's the fear of failure, of failing others, of not being that. To me,
it's your spirit.
I think the dream is healthy. You know, I think the dream is healthy because at first I thought it was, you know, okay, I'm traumatized about this life experience, right?
Me too. I know, and it's not. It's the fear.
It's the fear. It's the fear. And guess what? I don't have fear of, like, you know, like someone coming, the bank coming and closing my house down, foreclosure, taking my stuff away. You know, our parents probably do because of what happened to them in Cuba. But that same fear is what drove them to do what they did here. So fear is a good thing. I mean, I embrace it. I embrace it. By the way, fear keeps me from doing
stupid things.
Stupid things,
of course.
You know, and so does, you know. And again, it's my, again. I don't want to get into religion, but I'm scared of my God. You know,
me too.
I mean, what he's going to do to me.
I know
if I get out of line.
Like teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll ask you: what would you tell 18-year-old Marc Suarez?
What would I tell 18-year-old? What would I tell? Okay, this is what I tell 18-year-old Marc Suarez. Have kids at 30, not at 37. Because, man, it's hard to... 18-year-old Marc Suarez was never getting married. Okay. 18-year-old Marc Suarez was never getting married. The old 18-year-old Marc Suarez got married at 37. He's got a 3-year. He's 45 right now, and he's got a 3-year-old.
Oh my God!
But guess what? It keeps me. It's fear. I'm back in the gym because I'm scared.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Do it again. All right.
Thank you.